Hello YouTube, Go here, and I'm bringing you another Black Ops 3 video. This time it's Search and Destroy on the map Fringe. Now in case you're new to Call of Duty, Search and Destroy is a game type where each player only gets one life per round, and in public games you have to win 4 rounds. 6v6, whereas competitively you have to win 6 rounds at 4v4. You can start on either attack or defense. Here we're starting on attack, which means we have to get the bomb down on one of the 2 bomb spots. Once the bomb's been planted, the enemy team then has to defuse the bomb, which means they've either got to kill the whole enemy team or they've got to make a sort of play where what's called a ninja defuse, where you can defuse it while the enemy team is still up. It really is that simple. What makes Search and Destroy so interesting is that because you only get 1 life per round, it really forces you to play smart. You have to play smart. You know, notice there I was looking at the flank because the chances that someone comes around behind us is pretty high, and I don't want to be killed because it means we'll probably lose the round. You can see my teammates just went down in there with the bomb. He's holding the bomb, so to win it means we've got to get that bomb, get that down, or kill the other team. And you also notice that matey boy on our team, he like instantly left when he died, which leaves just me and my mate Marv against the whole enemy team. This is quite commonplace in Search and Destroy. People will join a game, they'll instantly die and they'll just quit. And in my opinion it's pretty pathetic, because that means that people will get entered into the round halfway through who will then just quit out, and it's a process that keeps going on and on and on, and it's fairly annoying. I personally prefer Search and Destroy in the competitive aspect, 4v4 up to 6 rounds. Search and Destroy tends to be the favourite amongst the pro scene and amongst the audience of the pro scene, because you only get the 1 life, it really does create some really tense moments, and you can have situations when in 4v4, say 3 of your own team are dead and you're left against 4 people, the bomb's down, you've got to defuse it, you've got 40 seconds, you manage to kill all 4 of them, and then defuse the bomb and win the round. And it makes for some really clutch times, more than almost any other game type, especially respawn. Respawn is where you die, you get another life, and you can keep doing that. This is non-respawn, you die, you're dead for the round, that's it, you've got to watch your teammates play it out. SnD has been the staple of the competitive scene since the beginning of the competitive scene. It really started off as just Search and Destroy, and then respawn game types eventually got put into the rotations. One thing about playing Search and Destroy in the public scene, and including this game after a recent patch, is that you get a lot of points for it, and it's one of the best ways to rank up if you like Search and Destroy, because if you're not very good at it and you keep dying and you've got to watch your teammates finish out the round, that can be annoying. And I can understand why people drop and leave the games, but those people need to understand that this game only works if you stay in the game. If people keep quitting games, then it just ruins the game for literally everyone. For everyone. But Search and Destroy has always been one of the best ways to rank up to Prestige, because you get an awful lot of points for just a few kills. I mean, this map I go off for the first 2 rounds out of 4, I think the first 2 or 3 rounds, and I get an awful lot of kills in those first few rounds, and it sort of peters out towards the end. But just for getting something like 9-10 kills a game, you can get more points than getting, say, 30, 35 to 40 kills in a hard point. So it's worth playing just to rank up, but in my opinion it's the most fun to play, because whenever you've only got 1 life around, your heart races, and that's what makes excitement, not just to play but to watch. This is why it is among the most popular game type to watch in the competitive scene, because you only get that 1 life. It makes it, I don't want to say realistic, but it makes your life so worthwhile that when you die or live or make a great play, the feeling you get from that is a lot better than the respawn game types. Now, I have a lot of fun in respawn because you can rack up a lot of kills, and that's personally what I like doing in Call of Duty. But if you want to start getting into the competitive scene, if you look at Arena, I haven't actually played Arena in Black Ops 3 yet because the season hasn't started, but as soon as it does, I will play Arena, because I prefer 4v4 than 6v6, and I prefer the ban and protect system, because there's a lot of things in this game and all Call of Duties that I don't want to play with. I don't want mines on the floor that I can barely see that kill me if I run into a room. That's not competitive at all. I want gun-on-gun skill against someone who's of equal talent to me. Something that really interests me in Search and Destroy in this game as an audience member and a player is the specialist system. Now, I thought in my previous video I said I thought the specialist system would annoy me more than anything. I thought I'd be getting destroyed from these free kill streaks. but that wasn't the case. I really liked him. In Search and Destroy, there are some abilities for the specialists that really can change the game. I really urge you to watch one of Optic Karma's videos, and he uses the glitch. The glitch is a specialist ability where if you use it, you go back 5 seconds, I think it is. You go back in time 5 seconds, and then you can basically run out. So, for example, if you're running through a door and you start getting shot, you glitch, boom, go back, run through, and you're 5 seconds behind where you were, and you can try and, you know, get around the teammate that way. If you go look at Optic Karma's video, he did it really well, and it really shows that really intelligent players who save their specialists and use the right specialist at the end are going to create some really interesting moments in the competitive scene, or even in the public scene in Search and Destroy. If you play it enough, you're going to see some people do some crazy stuff, some really crazy stuff with the specialists, and I personally am massively looking forward to seeing that, not only in the professional scene on the main stage. I'm looking forward to seeing these people pull out these crazy strats, but just playing myself, I'm looking forward to using these specialists and also seeing other people do some crazy things with specialists that will then give me inspiration to do awesome things with the specialists. Here I'm using the Scythe, which is my favourite specialist. It's just a machine gun on your arm, which is really powerful. You can hold down a lane. I can literally pre-fire a corner, and either someone's going to walk into that gunfire and die, or they're not going to go anywhere near that corner. So I know that they're not in that corner. They're going to be behind me, the other side of the map, or what have you. But the Scythe is really fun, not just for Search and Destroy, but more especially Respawn. You can just get a lot of kills with that one specialist, where I've used other ones, the Annihilator, which is also really fun. It's a one-shot pistol, but you've got to hit your shot. If you don't hit your shot, then the person's going to kill you. And right there, I want to talk about connection. For me so far, connection on Xbox One, it's been a bit hit and miss. It hasn't been anywhere near as bad as Advanced Warfare, and it hasn't anywhere near as bad, and particularly the Black Ops 3 beta was pretty bad for me as well. The connection was awful. If you look at the kill count of that guy who just previously killed me, he killed me in a bullet. Normally suggests that his connection is way better than mine, or my connection is struggling for some reason. But I will say with Black Ops 3, even if I do have a bad connection, it doesn't feel as bad as other Call of Duties. It still feels smooth enough to get away with it. But there are some problems with this game in Xbox One. It isn't as smooth as PS4. That's something that I really hope that either Treyarch work on, or the Windows 10 update that's coming out for Xbox One fixes, because apparently it's going to speed the whole console up. And in my opinion, most Xbox One problems are related to the speed of the software of the console. It's just not up to standard. And lastly, what I really want to talk about is the guns to use in Search and Destroy. Now, the gun you use really affects the playstyle. What I tend to do personally is, if I'm holding an area, or if it's defense, I tend to play with a long range weapon, i.e. an AR or a sniper. In Black Ops 3, the sniping isn't what it used to be in Call of Duty, so I'm not quite down with that yet. But understand, if you're using a long range weapon, if you're in a short range situation, you're really going to have to try and use your brain to put yourself in the right situation, where if the person you're playing against has a submachine gun and you're in a little room, you want to get out of that little room and you want to try and find a long sight line where you're looking. Alternatively, if you're using a submachine gun, which is something I also like to do, if I'm using a submachine gun, it's because I'm either rushing or I'm going to be holding a particularly small building where I want a close quarters weapon. You don't want to be using that weapon from long range, because it's just not what that weapon's meant for. So really think about how you play Search and Destroy, guys, and think about what weapon you use. I've been Goyle, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you later, guys. Bye.